TIFU. Accidentally went to a networking event for black people. I am white. Accidentally went to a networking event for black people. I am white. I feel terrible. I feel I've really messed up here and I am mortified. I've been out of a job for ages, so when I saw a post on LinkedIn about a networking event hosted by one company at a different company's venue that said it was an event open to everyone working in my industry, looking to network with people who work in roles like mine, I jumped at the chance and RSVP'd to the email in the post. I should have looked up the hosting company. It's actually not a company, it's a network for black people who work in my industry. I am a white woman with blonde hair, so when I arrived at the event, I realized my mistake, and probably so did everyone else. I had two choices when I realized. 1. Make a fake excuse and leave the event immediately, so that I'm out of the way, but this could have been offensive, like I didn't want to be there. 2. Stay, open mind, open heart, try to listen and see if I can learn how to be a better ally to level up those who are more junior in this industry than me. I chose option 2. Was that the right choice? Everyone I spoke to was so lovely and welcoming, particularly the hosts, and I did some networking, but I can't shake the guilt and embarrassment. I'm such an idiot. I literally cried all the way back home, over 1 hour, and can't stop. Should I message the hosts to apologize profusely? How do I make this right? Is it better just to leave it? I want to say that I am so sorry for not doing research into the people hosting the event and for taking that ticket, which meant that someone else didn't get one, and also for potentially making it a less safe feeling space for everyone else there. It would be good to understand if an apology would be well received or if it would make it even worse. Did I do the right thing in staying rather than just leaving? Am I blowing this out of proportion, or did I really mess up badly? Too long did not read. I am a white woman, and I thought I was going to a certain event, but it turned out it was an event hosted by a network for black professionals in my industry. Do I need to apologize to the hosts, or would that make it even worse? Edit. Thank you to everyone who's commented on this. I really appreciate other perspectives, both from those who gave advice and also those who found it funny, knowing that it was probably just confusing, funny rather than offensive. Entitled that I was there has helped me chill out about it, to be honest. Also adding that I'm not in the USA. I'm going to take this as a learning to do my research, and I also have some great new connections within my industry now. Edited to clarify stuff. I also should add that I know my emotional reaction isn't normal for most people and it's just something that I struggle with. I'm working on it. You could drop a line to the organizers letting them know it was an accident but that you had a great time. This reminds me of the post in the Black Jeep Owners group where a white dude with a black Jeep joined, completely misunderstanding it. Lol. Joined the wrong club, got the right vibes. Made me smile. An event open to everyone working in my industry, looking to network with people who work in roles like mine. I should have looked up the hosting company. It's actually not a company, it's a network for black people who work in my industry. Unless it's immediately obvious from their name, and the name was not abbreviated on the invite, and unless it was posted on a forum that generally only invites black people, I'd say it was an open event to which you were invited. I don't think you effed up, and I don't think you have anything to apologize for. I'm black and you're good. It's kinda like the same thing as if you enrolled at a HBCU. Nobody would really care, especially because the majority is black. I'm black. I promise you nobody cared that a white woman was there. Lol. You are more than fine. Trust me. I concur with you, the rackage. If you do apologize, make sure that it's known that you had a good time. Make it seem like not a big deal. Today I fucked up by returning bras at the post office. This happened about an hour ago when I popped to the post office on my lunch break to return 3 bras I'd ordered from Amazon. I didn't realize it was a packing and return service and I'd already packaged the 3 bras in one bag. Guy behind the counter asks what they are and I just say clothing items. He scans my QR code using his phone and the bras show up on the screen, complete with lovely, half-naked models. I shrugged to myself, okay, they're only bras. I refuse to be embarrassed by such things, even if it feels a bit weird and intimate. Then he tells me they need to be in 3 separate bags. Also hadn't anticipated this, so after struggling to open the bag I'd meticulously wrapped, I had to ask to use his scissors, then I hand him the first bra. Haha, okay, slightly awkward, but let's move on. Then he asks for the second bra, but the picture on his phone just shows a black bra, also with a lovely, half-naked model. But the 2 remaining bras are both black and I can't figure out which one it is. He shows me the description on his phone again, 34DD, please. With the queue growing, the guy's dad opens the next till across. It's a family-run post office, and I'm dimly aware of an audience. I scramble to find the size on the bra. It's not on the first label. Second label? How many fucking labels does a bra need? I hold the bra up to the light to see. Ah yes, this one is 34DD. Rapidly but pretend casually hand him second bra. He He rapidly but pretend casually packages it up. I'm conscious at this point that he's holding something that's been against my boobs. We lock eyes. He knows this too. Third bra we get over with as quickly as possible. Do I need a receipt? Guy won't even look at me now. No, he tells the floor, Amazon will email you. Next time I'm returning undergarments I'm using a locker. Too long did not read. Used post office to return some bras I'd ordered online, not realizing how personal and awkward it would be. My nephew works for the postal service. Bras? No big deal. He was telling me yesterday about the large box of hissing cockroaches he dealt with last week. It's only as awkward as you make it. This guy clearly majored in it to run the family-owned post. I'm in a really small town. The post lady would open up my packages when I came to get them since it was easier to throw out all the packing material at the post office than at my house, and she had scissors and box cutters handy. Well, one day she's of course got a trainee with her, and I get a box and she's like, "Want me to open this, honey?" I'm like, "Sure, totally forgot I'd ordered a vibrator." Awkward pause when that came out of box lol. Security would inspect bags coming into the office. There were random searches, but no men got asked about their messenger bags or backpacks, but cute women did. He wanted them to open the purses, for safety inspections. One woman had enough, got her friends to help out, and the next time she came into work, she had a dozen dildos in her handbag. The security guy turned beet red, the last time he asked to see into her purse. Sounds like you need some support today. Wow, you somehow managed to find the one and only USPS desk clerk in the entire country that somehow gives enough of a shit to ensure each Amazon package contains the exact item in the listing. Today I fucked up by letting my daughter watch iPad on an 8-hour-long car journey. 2 weeks ago, I went on an 8-hour car journey, for a holiday, and for the first 3 hours, so far so good. Then, my daughter says, "Dad, can I have my iPad?" I say, "Aren't you queasy with it in the car?" She then insists no, so I oblige. She was watching YouTube Kids with her headphones in when she vomited, just after our food stop, down my back. The vomit ran down my shirt while the next service station is 50 miles away. When we arrived at the service station, I could not get it out. So we continued on. However, even with her iPad taken away, she vomited again down the open window and it all went in the crevice where the window goes when you put it down. When we arrived, the vomit had dried on my shirt, my back and the seat, and the other vomit was still in the crevice. I had a shower and scrubbed the vomit off of the seats using a paper towel and water. I then took the car to a car wash who better cleaned the seats and the carpet. A bill of £130. They tried to clean the vomit from the crevice but failed. They said to go see a mechanic. Due to me being in a remote village in Scotland, there was no mechanic nearby, so I had to make the 42-mile drive to one. They dismantled the door and cleaned the vomit from the crevice. I got a bill of £230. I got back to the hotel at around 9:30 p.m. I had missed dinner, so I had to order room service for myself at 10 o'clock at night and quietly eat it to not wake up the others. I also effed up by not having the vomit bags readily available. Too long did not read. My daughter asked for her iPad on a car journey, vomited down my back in the crevice where the window goes. The mechanic dismantles the door. Mechanic and car wash charge me £360 in total. All my fault due to not having vomit bags readily available. Why didn't you just pull over and clean up a bit? All my kids get car sick. I've cleaned the same car seat twice in the past 2 weeks. For road trips we use audiobooks or listen to a movie.com. Weak-ass parenting, the answer is, no, you are not throwing up all over my car. You didn't know your child got car sick? You didn't bring vomit bags when traveling with children? The iPad's not the fuck up here. Settings: accessibility, motion, show vehicle motion cues, automatic, or, on. Dots will appear on the screen whose motion is controlled by the accelerometer. This gives your eyes a signal that matches what the body is feeling, reducing or eliminating motion sickness. Most people that I've seen try it say that it definitely helped. Do you have access to Bonini or Dramine? Those help with motion sickness. I use Bonini and start taking it 24 hours before a motion event. Long car ride in the backseat, long train or airplane ride. Today I fucked up by telling my husband I had a pimple. Hello all. I'm 37F. Not really a Reddit user, but I'm in need of one or several impartial third parties over this pimple I got, and what happened after I told my husband about it. 3 days ago I felt something uncomfortable in my nethers while intimate with my husband, 35M. It was late, so I decided to get some sleep and try to get a look at it the next morning. The following day I take a mirror and find a white, hard, smooth, uncomfortable, pea-sized lump on the labia minora, close to my entrance. This has never happened to me before, and when I consulted Dr. Google, It basically told me I either had a cyst, a STI, or cancer, so I quickly called my actual doctor and had a last-minute emergency appointment scheduled for the following day. The receptionist was very nice and said it sounded like a pimple and not to worry too much. The next day comes and lo and behold, the bump and all discomfort disappear. I was relieved, but still decided I should go to my appointment to be sure. Here is where I feel I fucked up. My husband works from home, and so I told him I would be going to a gyno appointment, so I will let our kids play video games after school so they don't disturb him. I wouldn't have said more than that, but he literally asked me what I was going there for. I told him about the bump, what Google said, what the receptionist said, and tried to make a light joke about it by saying, "Just so you know, if they find anything, there will be divorce papers." He did not laugh, but kept a very stoic face and told me he agreed. The vibes were not good, y'all. I shake it off, and go back to cleaning up the house before I pick up the kids like I always do. The appointment took longer than I expected to be there for, but I can't complain because she's the most popular gyno in town, and I'm getting squeezed in last second. She came in, took a look, and told me it was most likely a sebaceous cyst, pimple, and that it had resolved itself so well that she could hardly tell where it had been. When I told her I was worried because I didn't know pimples could occur there, she essentially told me skin was skin, and if I ever needed to I could take an intimate photo and send it to her through the patient portal. That way she could message me whether or not something looked exciting down there. She didn't charge me any money at all, and I left with a bounce in my step, calling my husband to tell him how it went and find out how the kids were doing. I finished talking and could feel his silences. He was not okay, even after hearing this news. I feel extra weird now, like he's mad at me and I don't know why. I end the call and rush home to make it home in time to make dinner. Husband had to work late, but before he goes into his meeting he asked me for some kind of test result he could see. I told him she didn't end up testing me, but I could show him the appointment notes on the patient portal that she wrote. He seems satisfied, and goes back to work, so I delivered him his dinner and did bedtime with the kids alone. You're probably thinking, he's being mad and weird because he thinks you cheated on him. That's what I thought until further introspection. We both work from home. I'm mostly a stay-at-home mom, but I am also in the middle of writing and illustrating my first children's book. I don't go out anywhere except to the backyard to take care of our pet chickens, and to the school to drop off, pick up our kids. Pickup takes anywhere from 45 minutes to an hour. Husband also has cameras on the front doorbell and other places in our house, and he is the only one with access to view the footage. He told me it costs extra to add me and allow me to see footage too. He's also got this thing called Firewalla, which I believe can see what devices are being used in his home and what they are doing. I am not tech savvy at all, but this is another device I don't have access to. All of this has me suspicious as hell, so by the time my husband comes out of his late night meeting, I'm fuming. I hopped in the shower while he decompressed in the living room, closed the door to get dressed, and didn't come back out or open the door. He chose to sleep on the couch, and since picking up on my current angry introspection he has made zero attempts to talk to me about it, but has been using the couch as his new bed every night. I am happy to provide more information in the morning if anyone needs it. For now I need to try to sleep. Too long did not read. I told my husband I got a pimple on my nethers and now I think he cheated on me. Update. First and foremost, I want to wholeheartedly apologize for not putting paragraphs in when I wrote this. It was very late, early, and I didn't think this would get so much attention. I fixed it, I hope, so again, sorry about that. I want to give a little bit of background before I talk about how our conversation went. For starters, my husband and I were in therapy together last year because of how destructive our communication is when we are both upset. It's the same tired pattern. I bring up a behavior or action he did present day, he gets immediately aggravated. I try to keep the focus on the current problem. He starts bringing up grievances he has from anywhere between 12 years ago. Feelings get ignored by both of us, because he's on the attack and arguing semantics about the past like it's evidence, and I am trying to get a straight answer for present day. All four horsemen show up, y'all. It sucks. The therapist said all of those old arguments need to stay in the past and all of those hurts need to be acknowledged but also let go, because there is no way to move forward and heal if you keep dragging yourselves backwards all the time. She also told me about the wheel of power and control, privately, when I told her I caught him lying about putting a GPS tracker on our car. At that time the flags were pink, not red, and I really thought we could work through this. So this morning I go to him, ask if we can talk privately in the bedroom. I'm nervous and praying we can get through this convo with calm respect for each other. We even recorded it on his phone, because he has claimed multiple times I am manipulative. I hope he listens to it. I told him I felt he had been really weird and cold when I told him about the pimple and after when I confirmed it and showed him the doctor notes. He is immediately aggravated, raised voice, of course I was. I thought you were telling me I was diseased. I brought up how we are both literally home all of the time except for when I go pick up the kids, and how he has the only access to the cameras. I also said I wanted access to the camera footage too, not the first time we've had this conversation by the way, and he again said. We had agreed it was too expensive. When I asked for his login and password he said he can't do that because it's a SSOP. But he'll try to figure it out. The surveillance he uses is Wise Lab, and if anyone has helpful info about that I would so appreciate it. I then mentioned I don't have access to the Robinhood account anymore. This account has the majority of our savings so we can try to move out of Florida. He said he would look into that later. I then asked him if he could understand how I would find this behavior suspicious when he is the one with all the power and surveillance. Then the old pattern happened again. He listed a slew of past grievances as evidence for him being suspicious of me instead of acknowledging any of my feelings or answering my questions. Things like, you hugged my friend weird in front of me, 5 years ago. You went to that wedding without me, a planned and talked through discussion 6 years ago. Our son was not one to sit at weddings or in cars, and I was matron of honor. A car was parked on the street late at night by our house around the same time you told me you went out for a smoke. 1 year ago. Literally didn't know about any car until he was shaking with anger and showing me camera footage. You were gone all the time when you did theater. My last play was in 2013, a solid 3 years before we had children. There were more, many more. I had sworn to myself last year if this happens again I would be done, and I knew as each grievance gets addressed he has another in the chamber ready to go until we both get to a boiling point. I said I had enough. I was done. This discussion wasn't helpful or on topic. I wanted to separate, and if he was willing to go back to our therapist together I would do that, but for now I was done. He agreed until he realized I meant separation that is farther than the bed and the couch. You can't kick me out. This is my house. I told him this is my house too. My money was used for half the down payment and my name is on the deed. I then reminded him his parents have a big quiet house where he can stay and get work done, whereas my mom is currently housing and nursing my mema who broke her hip last month. He has somewhere to go. I don't. He tried a few more times but I did the hard thing and held my ground until he packed a bag and called his mom. We have therapy on Tuesday, but this is where I will be leaving you, Reddit. I thank you all for reading and I will try to reply to some of you after I do bedtime with the kids. Seems like he's keeping strangely close tabs on you. Op. This is not a TIFU. I think you might be better served on relationship advice. You will get extreme comments, but many folks will be supportive and some will have some surprisingly insightful things to say that you didn't think of. This reaction seems way off and I wonder if he's usually emotionally manipulative of you. He can just give you the login name and password to look at the footage too. All of his bullshit doesn't line up, so sounds like you should be lawyering up. Go get tested. If you think he's cheating, the first person you need to protect is you. You don't know what he could have given you had he cheated. Also, like what everyone else said about the logins, he could just give you the username and password. He doesn't need to add you to anything. He's deflecting. To me the concerning part is where you both don't seem to actually talk about anything. If you're mad or he's mad that warrants a discussion. Maybe not immediately if someone needs to cool off or if someone's busy. But a discussion nonetheless. Why are you in a relationship with someone you don't feel comfortable talking to? Why is he? What is this relationship? Maybe he's cheating. Maybe he's controlling. Maybe he's paranoid. Maybe he's just mad you even joked about divorce. Who the hell knows? Gotta talk to him to get a better idea. Your marriage sounds toxic and he is controlling, irrespective of his new behavior. Seek advice from an attorney, therapist, etc. You are pretty vulnerable being a stay-at-home mom in these circumstances. I have a feeling he was angry because he thought one of his mistresses gave him an STI that he gave you, thus discovering that he's cheating in the process. // Also the surveillance thing is so weird and creepy, you should be able to know what he's doing to some extent as well.